Hello, and welcome back to Beyond the A, where I interview CSU alumni and talk about their fields and their careers. And today I have Phoenix, Ollie, and Brandon. Thanks, guys, for being on my little podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, stoked to be here.
So, what is your guys' official title, and what do you guys do?
I guess we're all videographers. We're all founders and owners of Wallflower Studio.
So, what caused you to choose to create a business, like a videography business, instead of like the normal corporate 9 to 5?
Yeah, I think we've had the idea of making a production company for a couple years now. It's something that we expressed interest in before we graduated, and then I think it was a few months before we graduated, we kind of had the idea of going all in on it, at least trying something out. I think we're all not typical 9 to 5 people. We're all passionate about video and just doing more things that are more creative, and it just seemed like a good time to try that out. You know, we're all young. We all have the ability to try something, and even if it doesn't pan out in the way that we want it to, it'll still be something really cool that we would have experienced.
Totally.
Yeah, I think CSU helped us out a lot with realizing that we could actually do this, in the sense that we all worked at Rocky Mountain Student Media. So not only did we get experience in, production and using cameras and editing and just all the aspects of video production, but we also got to see the business side of things with working with clients at 5003, where Ollie and I worked for, and working with clients, writing contracts, negotiating, doing business side of things, which is something that I feel like we're still kind of figuring out a lot of things about, but we got a huge jump start, especially for not going to school for business, through working there. So I think that just gave us the confidence that hey, we're making it work at Student Media, and we're making it work with, this company that we worked for and got a ton of clients and a ton of great projects through. We could definitely do this outside of here. And
Totally.
So I think that's also what led us to really want to do this.
None of you guys were business minors, right?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I know you were English, you were math, psycho. Did you have a minor?
I did business in for 2 years, and then I changed to journalism.
And then said, just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so you have
Did
some
you have a
business
minor,
experience.
for journalism?
No, I didn't.
Didn't you have to have a minor double major in journalism?
No, it was something weird. I don't know.
You transferred here, though. Was that different?
Yeah, I did
situation?
transfer.
Maybe
I
that is
transferred
different.
from
Fair.
state
Interesting.
Fair enough.
business.
Yeah. Fun fact, I used to work with all 3 of them, and they were all nightmares. Just kidding. Love you guys.
We still are.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I think also just working in student media in an environment like that, working with guys, like you guys.
You're just some guys.
Yeah, guys and girls. I think it was cool to experience a work environment that was so different, where every single project that we have with the client it's kind of like a different problem to solve for them. We could be working with a company that makes those trailer house type things that we did, or we could be working with a company to make videos for their award ceremonies. We're a different solution to different problems that clients have, and so that was really fun to realize that we can do something where every single project is a different thing that we're figuring out, but also working with people that are creative and fun to work with it. So working at student media really helped me for sure realize that there's other career paths to choose that are more creative and more on the problem solving side of things, where everything's just a different thing.
The real hands-on experience.
For sure, yeah.
Totally. Oh my God, I already had. Who was your first client?
Simon.
It would be Simon.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so then did I give you
Yeah, you
your
did.
first
You started
client?
Wallflower.
You did, yes.
Yeah. Our
So-
first. Yeah, go ahead.
So where's my check?
Low-key, though. Low-key.
Alone at a
The
casino,
plug.
to be honest.
We took your job, actually.
Yeah,
Our first,
you guys actually did take my job.
Yeah. Sorry.
our first client as a collective, as Wallflower, was Simon Construction, and that was through a connection that we had with you. You did social media for them.
I did
and some
social
communication
media
stuff.
and communications.
And you alley-ooped the project over to us. It was during the summer.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in Italy, and Phoenix was talking to Josh, and I was on some of the email chains just talking about what they wanted and getting a rundown of just getting an idea of everything that they wanted. And then I got back, and there was a lot going on. It was towards the end of summer. We were all moving out of our places, but Me and Phoenix went on a shoot in South Dakota, and then you guys did a couple. So their construction company,
in Nebraska.
yeah, and we shot.
Everywhere, yeah.
We got a bunch of B-roll footage of their construction sites. It was cool. It was cool being on the site and being dressed as a construction worker in the steel-toe boots.
You kind of feel like an imposter because
You do.
when I rolled up, I was like in my boots and jeans, and they were just like, "Who is this chick?" Like shoving a camera in people's faces.
You do.
I remember Brandon specifically got clowned on a little bit for his steel-toed, because him and Ollie both had brand new steel-toed boots, because we had steel-toed boots, and I borrowed my dad's, and my dad at the time was working on an oil rig, so like they were pretty beat up, you know. They looked like they were
got
used,
your shiny
but
boots.
Brandon and Ollie had brand new ones, and I specifically remember Brandon getting hassled a little bit about them, which was kind of funny. So
Like, yeah, what's going on, young blood? What's going on, baby
Soft
boy?
hands. What's up, soft
Soft
hands?
hands.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But that was fun. It was. I was only on the shoot in South Dakota, but that was an interesting time. I
South
remember there was a
Dakota's cool.
motorcycle rally going on. I know you guys. Had
Oh
some fun
yes,
in Nebraska, right?
Oh my gosh, what is that festival called?
It was
The
some
motorcycle
rally.
one?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called.
Motorcycle
Something with
days.
motorcycles, I
Yeah.
forget, but Ollie and I drove through, not wondering why there were so many motorcycles just
Yes,
everywhere.
Yeah,
I
I
know
got
what the
pulled
festival's
over.
called. I'm just blanking on it, but
Yeah.
It was cool.
I remember them because it's like the biggest thing that happens in South Dakota.
Oh yeah. But we did that, and then we made 3 Loop Bureau videos for their websites, and that was our first official client as
Yes.
Wallflower. And so thank you so much for alley-ooping that project over to us.
And it went
That-
super smoothly, I would say. I don't think we really
It went
ran into
great.
much hiccups. You know, again, like Ollie said, Brandon and I were filming most of the stuff, and I think we got everything without much of a hiccup or a problem. And recently, we actually did another project for them, so they came
They
back and
liked
wanted
you.
us to work with them more, which was really sweet. So
Yeah, it was-
Well, I guess my next question for you guys is how do you navigate starting a business, like especially because a lot of students like me like sometimes don't have a job lined up and then like are having that debate of like freelancing or starting their own small business. Like what kind of led you to that decision, and then like how did you guys get that steps to like be where you're at now?
it's a loaded question for sure. I'll try to.
You're just gonna say that.
Just hate it on my
No, I'm not hating on the question. I'm just trying to think. I'm like, that's like.
It's a
You're
big
like a
sorry.
politician, bro. You just got called out on something.
Damn.
That's a loaded
No.
question.
Well, I guess the only reason I
Fake
say
news,
that's kind of
fake news.
loaded is because the steps of what it led to get to here is kind of like not a lot, but it was a decent amount of steps that led here. Like it all started with Ollie and I think first talking about like, yo, when we finish up being a student, like we should like own our own production business.
That was years ago. That was
Yeah,
like-
this was like
Oh, okay.
2023 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like this is when we were first working
So you
at
guys are
Student
like
Media and
sophomores,
5003.
yeah.
We were like getting closer, and like Ollie started working with 5003, and I was still like a part of newbie director. And again, we just like really were confident about like, you know, you're at the time you're young, you're still in school, you think you can conquer the world. Not saying you can't, but like we just had all these big ideas for things we wanted to do. But what's super cool is that we ended up following through with pretty much most of that once we graduated. So getting the experience of 5003 and then, you know, getting closer with Brandon, and also Brandon's just like such a hard worker and is really good at shooting and editing and everything. Like
Making him blush over
he was
here.
perfect for this trio thing that we had going on. So yeah, it started from idea and then went to fruition. But once we graduated, we decided that since we were all kind of in the same role of freelancing, we're already all individually trying to like work with clients on our own, do gigs. I was already freelancing for a couple of years at that point, working for random other companies, production companies, all this stuff. So we just were like, hey, this production company idea that we had, why don't we just pool in all this work that we're all getting individually under one company? And then Wallflower Studio, bang.
Yeah.
Wallflower.
And I'd say a big part of it for me was I think I got really lucky like meeting these dudes. I think they're great people to work with. And I remember I used to do social media for CTV, which is the student-run broadcast station, and I had an idea for a social media video that I wanted to make. And they were great because they gave me creative freedom to do whatever I wanted. They liked the stuff that I made, and I kept trying out different things and experimenting because they were pretty low stakes videos. You can kind of make as many as you want throughout the week, and I just kept experimenting with things. And I had this idea of a video that I wanted to make, and I didn't know how to do it. And so I went up to Phoenix and I was like, dude, I want to make this video, and this is what it looks like. Because it was it's the Entertainment Weekly. It's the Boys like live like cover promo thing where the camera's like on the side and it turns as I forgot.
Pop it up in the edit.
Yeah.
Find an example
Maddie
for the
editing.
edit.
That's what it looks like.
I'll make a mental note.
Yeah, it's this.
Send it to you.
It's like this
I would say,
guy,
yeah, please
main
send it
character,
to
and the boys like
me, 'cause I
getting
have no
up,
clue
and
what
then
he's talking
camera
about.
like zooms out as it shows like all the main characters. I'm like, this is super cool. When I talked to Phoenix, I'm like, I want to do this for a CTV video, but I don't know how to do it. And then we went on a shoot that you were actually on too, because you were doing entertainment
video,
for them, and we filmed it and it looked great, and we were editing it. Phoenix and I edited it together in our student media office, and it turned out really cool. Like exactly how I wanted it to turn out is how we did it, and it helped me start to realize that this video stuff, this like any creative endeavor, you can't do it alone if you want it to be really, really great. Like you have to do it with people, because I think ego is the death of art. You gotta be able to ask for help and be able to be open with people. Because I'm like, straight up, I don't know how to do this, but Phoenix, you've been doing this for longer than I have. Like, I need your help with this. And it was my creative direction and his technical expertise that helped make that video come to life and made me be like, we work really well together. Then along the road, gotten like much closer with Brandon. I'm like, and me and Brandon started doing some work together too with KCSU, which is the student radio station at CSU. We started doing live and local, which was it's like a tiny desk for local bands in Fort Collins. And
yes,
worked
tiny
with him,
desk.
and it's just having someone there to support and to help edit. Just helped me realize making a movie, making any kind of big creative thing, it's just like a big group project.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, and you can do it by yourself, but when you have a good crew around you of people that really care about what you're doing, it's just gonna go beyond your wildest expectations. So combining our creative expertise and our creative ambitions with business, like it just seemed like a no-brainer, and we've all been able to communicate openly. That's also something I think we've been able to very, very openly communicate about difficult things, about taxes, about creative ideas, about things that are hard to talk about. So I would say definitely we had the ambition, but also we had the openness to talk about difficult things and to be like, all right, we're gonna go through this. And it hasn't even been a year yet, but we've been humbled so many times already.
Totally.
Yeah.
But what's been so helpful is we're not being humbled by ourselves. We're being humbled together, and that's been super, super helpful. Like I wouldn't have been able to get this far without these guys.
Yeah, starting business is hard. I can't
really
lie,
hard.
especially if you don't really know that background of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think, like Ollie said, we had the drive. If you're passionate enough and like believe in like what you're doing is like good, and like you think you're providing like a really good thing, like other things will just kind of work out. I feel like a lot of things have just kind of worked out for us more than what we would expect, which has gotten us to this point. But business stuff is hard. We just finished submitting our taxes.
It took us like 2 months.
Yeah,
Really?
it literally did. Like it was
conversations.
but now we've learned from that, and we know what we're gonna do the next time around. We know how to be better about certain things and records and bookkeeping and stuff. But yeah, I can't say that running a business is super easy for the first time that you're doing it. So
Say year one, you're getting there.
oh yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm hearing static.
I think in the edit you'll be able, because I think all the audios will like be separate channels.
It'll be
So yeah,
okay.
if shit is like
totally
freaking out, you can just like cut out that freak out audio.
Yeah.
Well,
Fair enough. Okay. Next question. And we don't have to go into detail. Name one class at CSU that you took that like helped you with like everything that you do now. Like what was like the class that like gave you the most insight, or like the class that like was like most helpful for you when you're out on shoots or editing or like doing business stuff, the bit like analytical sides.
Brandon, why don't you go first?
Mackle video editing, honestly.
Okay.
Mackle is the go.
Shout out
Literally.
Mackle.
Shout out
He's
Michael.
so
Never
good
had a
at-
class with him, but he's so, I know, but he's so nice. Like
He's
anytime we
literally
talk.
the best.
He's a go.
Like
the goalkeeper in the streets.
goalkeeper.
Really?
Don't. Just hear that.
Don't you know? Don't you know the
I
goalkeeper?
just thought about that. I don't know.
Yeah,
That was great.
Oh, he's just great. He's just a great professor. He's really, really kind. He knows how to like actually explain what he's doing and
Yeah.
like put it in a way that like it's easier for you to like replicate. And like he has his own little business too, you know? It's like I think like personally I got like a lot of like what I want to see myself doing from him, because he's the
he's out there doing it. The goalkeeper.
The Matt goalkeeper.
Because he's out there doing it himself already.
Exactly.
So totally.
He's got his FX6, his wife and kids, bro. He's made it. Honestly, he's made it better than most
Dude, he's got a red,
videographers.
I think. No, he's got
a red. Ooh.
He's got a red with the school. I think the district. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he works for the Pooter.
He's great.
The Pooter School District. Gotta love it. Okay, who's next?
I'll jump off of Brandon because it's kind of similar. I have a class that also was taught by Matt Goal.
Shout out Matt Goal.
For mine, advanced video production. I just have super fond memories of that class. One that I up to my tech with that. That was before I got involved with Barnfly Productions. With shout out Barnfly Productions. They also
shout out John.
Shout out John Barnhart and all the crew there. They're the ones that I think really pushed my tech up a lot. And I think without them, I would not have the knowledge of production that I do now. Not that school didn't teach me that, but I really got that actual baseline knowledge from Barnfly. But before that, I took advanced video production, and that was like the real first step into me getting that knowledge. Not only was Matt Gould great at teaching a lot, not covering always just the bases that you learn in, I feel like in every journalism class, unfortunately, at CSU, which is like, oh, the exposure triangle, what is this? What is this? It was like actually learning what that meant.
Yeah.
And putting
how
it
to
practice.
Apply it, yeah.
And I just remember having really fun projects in that class. He was really all about like, you film it yourself, do it yourself, get the support. I would always go to him with questions and stuff. And I just have really fond memories of that semester was when I felt really confident in my shooting capabilities. Like, I look back at the projects now and they're really not that great, but at the time I just remember feeling like, wow, I could actually see myself actually doing this. Like, I think I'm actually understanding kind of how all these pieces work together with filming and post and audio and even pre-production and stuff, like kind of putting it all together into making some pretty cool projects, at least at the time, of what I thought was some of my best work yet, with also friends that I had at that time. Was really cool. So super fun memories. Matt Goal is the GOAT. Advanced video production, I thought was a great class.
The goalkeeper.
Yeah. So
I'm going to tell him next time I see him that you guys said
awesome.
that. Okay, Ollie.
Yeah, mine's a little bit different. Wait for that sound to...
What is that?
I think it's our freezer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine was JTC 420. It was an independent study class, and it was the Deliberative Journalism Project. So I got invited to the independent study from Jenny Fisher. And Daryl Blair, actually, he's my news writing professor, and he told me, he was like, I think you could be good for this if you're interested. I'm like, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So what the class was, it empowers journalism students to go write about any long-term story that they want to be working on, any kind of story they thought was interesting. And then I remember the first time I met with Jenny, she gave me the rundown of the class, and she was like, this is like, it's a semester-long thing. Your project can be whatever you want it to be. Kind of have free reins to do whatever you want. Do you have an idea of a story you'd want to do? And I was like, yeah, actually, I do. And then I was like, would I be able to make a documentary out of it? And she was like, yeah. And granted, at this time, I did not know how to work a camera. But I had this idea that I kind of just ran with. And I think she really... empowered me to go with my vision with it, and she let me kind of run and like do whatever I wanted to do, no matter how like crazy ambitious it was. So every week, everyone in I met with her once a week, but there was an actual independent study class that'll pop in every now and then just to talk to my other peers and see what kind of projects they're working on. There's a kid named Milo that was working on a story about this rodeo that was super, super interesting. A bunch of interesting stories, and my story was about South Asian culture and STEM and the humanities. And, being South Asian, I feel like a lot of people in my culture go towards the STEM side of things, but I've always been drawn more towards the humanities. So I was like, why is that? So I pitched that idea to Jenny, and she thought it was really interesting. And I was like, what if I did a documentary about it? And she was like, yeah, you can definitely try to do that. And then I remember walking out of her office being so excited and also so scared, because I'm like, bro, I don't even know how to... This was before I started doing anything with cameras, really. I messed with stuff in the past, but like a documentary was something that was like way further than I could have ever like reached before. And then that semester, I did interviews once a week, interviewing different people around CSU, South Asian students, South Asian professors, just random professors that are involved in both STEM and the humanities. And every week I put out a blog post on the Deliberate Journalism Project website. And then I'd also be doing interviews every week too. And again, there were some interviews I had to cut because they were just so poorly made. But I worked on that the entire semester, and then I did some editing and storyboarding that summer. And when the project was only supposed to be semester long, but it spanned to being kind of like a year long for me. And Jenny was just super great at being like, go do what you want to do. Like, this is like your idea, like go for it. And I was working towards building up this like 20-minute long documentary, and I was like, I don't want to just put it on the website where no one's going to see it. I want to have like a premiere for it. And I actually held a premiere for it in November. So started in January, had to finish it in end of October, November, had a premiere for it. These guys were there for it.
Heck yeah.
And it's a really solid, I was very impressed. I didn't know that was Ollie's first time really making a project using cameras like that until after I think it was after Ollie joined 5003. So when I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I was impressed seeing at the time. I think you see it you see some of the technical inconsistencies.
The audio is so bad.
But overall, it's really well made. Story's great, and I really liked the editing and stuff. And so learning that was his first, it's really impressive, I think, for a first project.
Totally,
dude. So that class really made me learn, because I got a lot of great feedback on it. Aside from any of the tech edits, people like the storylines. Helped me realize that people will watch things that aren't made on something really great as long as the story has integrity and it has weight to it. And even watching it now, I cringe at some of the tech stuff that I just did wrong, but the story holds up, and that really helped me realize the power that a great story can have as long as it's something that you care about and you put your heart into it.
You don't need the nicest camera or the nicest gear as long as you're telling something that's meaningful.
I've never been one to really enjoy school a whole lot, so for Jenny to be like, go do what you want to do, and for me to make this entire premiere and this entire documentary, and they have a student film festival every year for Clarkcella, and that's based off of the film festival I had, because I didn't just show my project, but I showed other people's projects as well. So that was something that I thought was really cool. It was just, she just let me do whatever I wanted to do, and I was able to make something that I'm still really proud of. Yeah.
What about you, Maddie? What's your favorite class? I know you still have a
semester
left.
You can ask me questions.
What's been a super memorable class for you, or something that you think's really helped you out for what you want to do when you graduate?
I took last semester 2 classes with Danny Castillo, my girl, my icon. I love her so much. I would die for her. Not being dramatic about that one. I did motion graphics and then entrepreneurial journalism. Danny taught both of those. And then, so motion graphics, I had never done motion graphics, so now I know animation and stuff, which I feel is a really underrated asset to have, not just for resume building, but just I can do that stuff now. And then entrepreneurial journalism, it talked about starting businesses and stuff. And then also I got to make an app, which was really cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, so my app was called Pourcast, and it was a group project with my friends and I, and it kind of Grubhub, Snapchat Maps-esque. It tells you the bars and how crowded they are, and then you have a map, it's a heat map. So if Lucky Joe's is a bar in Fort Collins, and if Lucky Joe's is super crowded, it'll be bright red. But bar districts is empty, so you might want to go there because then you'll get your drinks faster. And then it'll tell you all the food menus and stuff that they have.
That's
and
a cool idea.
That's a great idea.
Thank you. We thought we were very frat bro when we made it, but yeah, it was super cool. And I'm actually working on making the app kind of workable. I mean, it's just a concept, but not actually coding and stuff. But so yeah, those were probably my most memorable, because it's just more stuff that I can actually apply.
For sure. Danny's great too. She's a great teacher.
I love Danny so much.
Yeah, immersion class is great. I took that one as well.
I'm gonna miss her. It's not even funny. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I feel even though CSU journalism's small, it's very powerful. And Rocky Mountain Student Media was named best student media company in the nation. Yeah. So
we had the best production company.
We did.
Also.
Yes.
I don't know if we said it yet, but Maddie was also in 5003 with Ollie.
I was.
So we were all worked together in this production company.
And then I helped
Student ran.
Brandon and Ollie with Live and Local.
Yeah.
And we had many mishaps with that one.
Hey,
we made it work.
though.
We made it work. We made it
Made
work.
Yeah.
We made it work. That's what you have to do. You don't have to have the nice gear. Looking beyond the A, what advice would you give to your student self that would have helped you throughout your time in college, especially now that you've started a business or when you were looking for jobs?
Is this more like career related or like personal or like anything?
Yeah. Just like what advice from like now where you are now and to like your college self, like what advice would you give?
Yeah.
What now?
I'm sorry. Forgive me. So I think the first thing I'm laughing because I think the first thing I would say is like, dude, you gotta change universities faster. I spent 2 years in Plano State pursuing business, and I didn't get anything from that. So I kind of just wish I came straight to Colorado State University and like met these guys ahead of time, took like 2 years earlier, and then like actually have like learned like camera stuff, like Premiere Pro, and like all the things that like now I'm utilizing, but like I could have been a much sharper edge if I had like done it ahead of time.
Totally.
You know what I mean? But like no, I'm kind of happy with how my life's going right now. You know, Wallflower's doing really, really nicely. It's a good fish in a good pond. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say to spend more time working on more creative things just for myself. I think I was very focused on school.
What?
I heard you laughing. I was very focused on school and working, and I did enjoy everything that I was doing, but I wish
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on.
I wish I spent more time making more creative projects. Whether that be I like writing, so I like writing more just for myself, writing creatively, and also just experimenting with short films. I think because I think I have a pretty good foundation of producing work that we do right now, a lot of the more commercial stuff, but I think it would have been really fun to experiment with more creative stuff, learning how to storyboard for a short film that isn't for a class, but is just for something that me and my friends like want to produce. I'm trying to work on that skill set now, and so I was a journalism minor, so I've taken a couple of journalism classes, not as much as these guys, but I wish I had more experience on that production side of things and doing more creative things, because I think I'm pretty good at making the commercial promotional stuff, but I think it would have been cool to have more of that skill set of making something of bringing a personal vision that I have to life. And I think having had more experience with that, I would tell myself to do more of that stuff. I'm trying to do that now, but I think it would have been cool to have maybe a couple more years of experience doing that before graduating.
Totally.
That's a tough question, just because there's not a whole lot of stuff I regret, I would say. I think there's multiple stuff. One being this mindset of like, I don't think I had to go to school to get this, but I think if I didn't go to CSU, that's like kind of what, as a freshman going to the street fair, like I started off as a math major, and the only reason I switched to journalism is because I was looking for like a club or hobby to do outside of taking a bunch of math classes. And then at a street fair, I found a KCSU booth actually, and I asked them if there was any video production or video crews that they knew of on campus. And they mentioned at the time it was called Student Video Productions. And then I just kept bugging the director at the time, Owen, and I literally went into the RMSMC office like 5 different times asking to meet with him or Pete Walker, who was the CEO at the time, to try to get an in on it. And I didn't know too much. I had never touched a camera before. My filming background was, making really bad skate edits and bad gamer YouTube videos in high school. But I really wanted to get involved. And then as soon as I did get involved, because they gave me that chance, I realized, I think this is what I want to do. So I made the change. So that would probably be one thing. It's just, I wish I'd realized that sooner, but at the same time, I found it still early enough to where it put me on a good projection. And the other part that kind of leads with that is also just I would tell myself, just don't stress about the little things or the big things, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think I spent so much of my time as a student thinking like I need to do my best, like in all these projects, in the sense of like spending actual hours on these small details, doing everything I can.
Yeah.
And I had this obsession that I think really did carry me into feeling confident in my abilities now. But at the same time, I don't know. I missed out on being able to, you know, be a college student sometimes and doing that. So I guess there's some regret in that. But I think that you need some grit and you need some perseverance to like make it if you want to do it. So like on one hand, it's like I don't regret putting the amount of time that I put into 5003 or Barnfly or other places in order to try to get the experience to level up. But at the same time, there are some opportunities that I got to miss out for being a student, hanging out with friends, doing things that, you know, create a lot of memories, especially when you're in college. So I would say to my younger self or even other people that are looking to do this, like, you have time.
Totally.
Do your best. It's always going to be worth it. You know, do the project that you want to do, kind of related to Ollie. Like, yeah, spend more time doing that. Try to do the creative stuff. Try to do the things that when you have the inspiration to do so, and you have, like, you know, when you're young and you're first doing something, you get a lot of just like excitement out of doing it. Like, really use that energy towards making some stuff that you really care about.
Some cool
I think I cared too much about what my clients cared about, which, you know, worked out. But at the same time, like, there was stuff I wish I could have done. Oh man, that's our time.
That's okay. Well, thanks for being on my podcast.
Of course, Maddie. Thank you for having us on and dealing with us.